The Arana Nation is back after a week of absence. There have been some problems with my phone. I had to get a new one. The camera looks a lot better. I have some very nice camera cleaner. So we'll see if the camera works a little better with the camera cleaner. But I have a new phone. My old phone just completely died. So I have to get this new one. But I didn't forget about y'all. I was thinking about you the whole time. I made a few videos with Kevin J. Johnson of the Freedom Report. You can go to thefreedomreport.com right now and look at them, or freedomreport.ca, I should say. You can also go on the YouTube, his YouTube channel, and check them out. I'm actually going to post them on the Arana Nation momentarily. Give me some time for that. But in the meantime, a lot of things have happened since I've been gone, and I felt so bad I couldn't talk about it. It was just bottled up inside of me. Bottled up, just saying, I just want to talk about this stuff, and I can't because I don't have my camera on, and I'm wearing my Trump shirt right now, so I couldn't, and it was just frustrating, but I'm here now, and better than ever. So the first thing we can talk about is the fact that in Washington, D.C., you got liberals who want to put up a statue of the former mayor of Washington, D.C., Marion. Now, I mean, this guy, I mean, you know, you have the left, they say they want to take down all these Confederate statues of Robert E. Lee and Jefferson Davis and all these people. I mean, they just want to take down all these Confederate statues. They want to take them all down. And I'll tell you this. Before this Marion thing, I was actually supporting taking down these statues. I shouldn't say I was supporting it, but I really didn't care. Because, I mean, I ain't white. I don't care. I mean, these Confederate people don't mean anything to me. You want to tear down the statue? Tear it down. That's what I was saying. I didn't care. I'm not white. I don't give a shit about Confederate statues. But now that the left wants to put up a statue of one of the most racist people on the planet, and openly racist, openly homophobic, Marion, and they want to place him in Washington, D.C., put up a statue of him, now I'm against taking down the Confederate statues. Now I'm against it. Thanks a lot, liberals. You just completely destroyed your argument yet again with your own stupidity. And I think everyone should be against taking down these Confederate statues because Marion Barry, the guy who liberals want to put up a statue of, he actually said that Asians, we got to do something about these Asians. They're dirty shops. They've got to go. This is word for word coming from this guy who liberals want to put up a statue of. And it's just this thing I say. Liberals love racists when it's not white people. When you're not white, when you look like me, or you're Chinese or Muslim or whatever, they love you if you're racist. They love you if you're racist. You want to say, oh, white crackers, you ought to pay reparations for slavery. If I were to say that right now, if Arana Nation were to make a video calling on all white people to pay reparations for slavery, even though my ancestors on my paternal side were never enslaved, that's just history, liberals would love me. They'd say, "Move the Arana Nation. We love the Arana Nation now. We love the Arana Nation now. We'll stop trying to report his videos and flag his videos. We love him now because he just said to white, get whitey, get whitey. Yeah." Liberals would love me for that. If I said Marion Barry was the best thing since sliced bread, even though he was a racist, he said to Asians, get the hell out of Washington, D.C. with your dirty shops. Oh, they'd love me. And Marion Barry said this. Look it up. Another thing, Marion Barry was completely homophobic. He was one of the only counselors in the Washington, D.C. City Hall who voted against rights for LGBT people. This is fact. Look the damn thing up. Arana Nation does not lie. Arana Nation does not go into conspiracy theories like some people do. Arana Nation is fact. He said it. Look it up on Google. Marion Barry, anti-LGBT. Marion Barry says Asians and their dirty shops have got to go. Look it up. So I was watching Tucker Carlson the other day, and Garland Nixon, who is some black radio host, Garland Nixon, look this idiot up, a black racist. Most black people are racist. And he said, you know, when Tucker Carlson said, well, why would you want to put up a statue of a guy who said, we got to get rid of these with the Asians with their dirty shops, and he was against LGBT rights. Why would you want to put up a statue of him? Garland Nixon said back in those days, it was common for people to be against LGBT rights. That's what he said. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so it's appropriate to put up a statue of Marion Barry even though he was against LGBT rights, and you're saying that it was customary for people to be against it back then. But then if a white dude says that we need to keep a statue of Jefferson Davis and Robert E. Lee, and the white guy or girl says that it was customary for people to be racist back then, therefore we should leave the statue there, you lose your donkey shit, that's hypocritical. And I said to Kevin J. Johnson the other day, look, you know, if it was the other way around, and black people were the ones enslaving white people, 2017, y'all would still be in chains today. Because this guy is completely racist. He doesn't even know it. I'm smart. Most people won't even look. Most people will just be like, oh, that's just not a big deal. I see that. Because if Garland Nixon is saying, well, we should put up a statue of Marion Barry, even though he said that we need to get rid of Asians and their dirty shops, and he said that he was against LGBT rights, basic rights, and you're saying that it was common to be against LGBT rights back in those days. So therefore, since it was common, we should put up a statue of him just because he was mayor. But it was common for Robert E. Lee and Jefferson Davis back in those old days to be racist. It was common. Even Abraham Lincoln was racist. You know, Abraham Lincoln didn't start the Civil War just because he wanted to free the black people. He wanted the South back in America. If he could do that and keep black people in chains, he would have. So, you know, it was common for racists. And I'll tell you this, Robert E. Lee and Jefferson Davis were much better than Marion Fool Barry. Marion Barry was one of the worst mayors in history. Not in Washington, D.C. history, not in American history, in world history. Marion Barry was the worst. When Marion Barry was mayor, white people fled Washington, D.C. like geese in winter. When Marion Barry was mayor of Washington, D.C., black folk who got a little bit of money fled Washington, D.C., along with the white folk like geese in winter. And this guy's supposed to be the savior of black people? The same guy who, when he was mayor, more black people were in jail and unemployed and would flee? Give me a break. This guy was a terrible mayor. He was terrible. He was so bad, the Congress was thinking of ways to get rid of this mofo. And then you want to put up a statue of him? Yeah, put up a statue of him representing the failure of the city of Washington, D.C. Give me a break. I say make more statues of Confederate soldiers. Make more of them. Put them in every single black neighborhood in America. Put Robert E. Lee right in front of this Garland Nixon's house staring at him so that he can know that it was customary for white folk to be racist against niggas back in those 1800 days, just like it was common for people like Marion Barry to be homophobic against LGBT people and not give them basic rights, and you still want to put up a statue of him. So if this black racist wants to put up a statue of Marion Barry, I say put up a statue of Robert E. Lee and the founder of the Ku Klux Klan right next to that statue. Because it'll show a bunch of racists standing up there. Fool.